All right, this video is from Math 167. We're looking at section 1.1, ellipse. In this topic, we're finding the foci of an ellipse given this equation in standard form. So we're going to have to rewrite this in standard form by completing squares. Find the center, because in order for you to find foci, you need to start with the center. And use that c equals square root of, it can be b squared minus a squared, or other way, a squared minus b squared, whichever one is bigger minus whichever one is smaller. So we will have to find the c value and add it to the, either the x or the y coordinate of the center. And that depends on whether we're looking at a vertical major axis or horizontal major axis cases. So this one is the hardest problem, really, out of these 6 topics that you are doing for your homework this week from this section. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start by completing the square. I'm going to get all the x's up front first. So I have 4x squared and 16x. Plus 16x. Now I'm going to get my y's ready. I'm going to have my plus y squared and minus 2y. So all the x's and y's organized. And let me put this negative 19 on the other side because it doesn't have x or y. Okay, so all clean. Let us now complete the square. Okay, this is the same thing that we did from the very first lesson when we did section 1.2 circles. Okay, now, but when you look at this x's, these two terms for x's, the leading coefficient is 4. So take that out. Write that 4 out in the front, and then write x squared plus 4x inside, because when you divide 4x squared by 16x, you get x squared plus 4x. Now, well, I'll do one thing at a time. I'm going to continue this. Equals 19. Now, let's complete the square, okay? So, keep that 4 in the front, okay? But in order for us to complete the square, we always take the half of this middle number. I'm about to highlight that in yellow. So, what's half of 4 squared, okay? Half of 4 is 2, right? And 2 squared is 4. So that's why we're going to have to put plus 4 inside here. Always take half of that middle number. Half of 4 was 2. And when you squared that 2, you get positive 4. You're always going to be adding a number. But now, what I add to the left-hand side, I must add to the right-hand side. Did I really add 4 to the left-hand side? Nope. I really added 4 times 4, which is 16 to the left-hand side. So you need to write 19 plus 16 on the right-hand side. It will be incorrect for us to write plus 4 on the right side because we're not really adding just 4. We're adding 4 times 4, which is 16 to both sides. Now let's do the y's, okay? Y squared minus 2y. Now, in order to figure out what we are adding, take the half of the middle number and square it. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. But when you square negative 1, you get positive 1. Now, unlike this red x's, we don't have a number in front of this. So we really just added 1 to the left-hand side. So I'm going to write plus 1 to the right side too to keep the equation balanced. Okay? So if this part was confusing, let me know. I can find you more videos on completing square. This is this is that prerequisite skill from algebra that we have to remember to write the equation in standard form. But let us finish this, okay? So I will write 4, and this trinomial will factor into what? X plus 2 squared. Now that blue y squared minus 2y plus 1 will factor into y minus 1 squared. And if you add up these 3 numbers, 19 plus 1 plus 16, that's going to give me 36. Now, this is where we kind of stop when we are looking at equation of a circle. But if you are writing an equation of an ellipse, you need 1 on this right-hand side. I don't have 1 on that right side. So to make that 36 a 1, I'm going to divide everything by 36. So divide all the fractions by 36 and let us simplify this, okay? When you look at 4 over 36, that is 1 over 9. So I'm going to write the first fraction to be x plus 2 squared over 9. The second one I don't have to simplify. We just have y minus 1 squared over 36. And on the right-hand side, we have 1. Now we have an equation of an ellipse in standard form. Is this a major vertical axis or major horizontal axis case? Let's take a look at the numbers. Number underneath x is 9, which means we're going right 3, left 3 to plot endpoints of the axis, okay? The number underneath y is 36. That's definitely bigger. This is bigger. And this is under what? Y. So that means we're going to go up or down more than going sideways. We are looking at a vertical case. We're looking at a vertical major axis case. Okay. So, what's the center? Let's find the center first. Okay. Center is going to be, you can find the coordinate for center by looking at what's being subtracted from x's and y's. Okay. So because we're finding the numbers that are being subtracted, you always go with the opposite sign of what you see. So if you see x plus 2, don't say positive 2 for the x coordinate of the center. Say negative 2, because the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. And look, y has y minus 1. The y coordinate of the center will be positive 1. Okay, so we found the center. We now need to find C value to find the foci. I think that's what they wanted, right? They want us to find the foci of an ellipse. See, all this work is the necessary work to find the final answer. We got the center. We just need to know what we are adding to the y coordinates. And that's going to be the C value. To find C, okay, do 36 minus 9 square rooted. You notice what we're doing here, right? We're subtracting these a squared minus b squared, okay? Or b squared minus a squared, just do the bigger number minus the smaller denominator and take the square root. What's that going to be? Is that 25? Oh, no, it's not. That's 27. Oh, no. Well, it's okay. It's not a perfect square, but we're going to go ahead and simplify this as 9 times 3, right? 9 times 3 is 27, which means square root of 9 can come out as 3, but we still have 3 inside. Now, because we're looking at a vertical major axis case, we are going to be adding this number to the y coordinate or subtracting it to find the coordinate of the foci, okay? So here's the final answer. What are our foci? You're going to have 2 of them. X coordinates will be the same. It will be negative 2 and negative 2. You don't go right or left from the center, okay? But you need to go up 3 root 3 from 1. So the first y coordinate, I'll write that as 1 plus 3 root 3. But you also need to go down this much from the y coordinate. So I will say 1 minus 3 square root of 3. So my example, you guys, was a vertical major axis case. You do something very similar for the horizontal major axis case, okay? But this is going to be the hardest problem for section 10.1 because you have to first start by writing this equation in standard form, identify the center, find the C value, okay? And determine whether you should add that C to the X or the Y coordinate. And that depended on whether we're looking at a vertical or horizontal major axis case, right? So that's it for 10.1. I'm going to be uploading a couple more videos for the other sections, okay? But here you go. Here was that last example on page 231.